Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and in the shop making shavings. Today we're going to talk about sharpening the skew and a little bit about using it. But before we get started, tip for today. A while back I noticed that my remote for my camera here was getting dirty and funky. So I was going to order a new one. Found out it's about 60 bucks. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Now this is only after my dear wife, who loves what I do out here, she really does, because it keeps me out of her hair, her beautiful red hair. Well, I brought a remote into the kitchen because the kitchen remote broke. Somebody dropped it, I don't know who, it's only me and her, and I suspect it was her. But the remote broke and I brought the one in from the shop. Well, it was dirty. Well, we put it in the Ziploc bag just because it was so dirty you couldn't have it in the kitchen. Well, that was her idea, put it in Ziploc, keep it clean. So when I came back out to the shop, I left it in the Ziploc and it kept it clean. Well, it works better. So I put the one for the camera in a little Ziploc bag. I put the one for the radio in a Ziploc bag. I put the one for the dust collector in a Ziploc bag. And, you know, these things are really cool. And a Ziploc bag costs pennies, or a tenth of a penny or whatever it is, and a remote costs 50 bucks. So, tip for today, get you some Ziplocs and put those electronic devices in it. In fact, when I'm not using a camera, I drape a Ziploc bag over the top of it. Not a green thing unless you consider money being green, then it's a real green thing. Okay, let's talk about skews and how to sharpen them. There's a lot of theories about this, and if you're scared of this skew and you've used it and you've got a catch, you know what a catch is? That's when that curly line runs back across your work, and you've just put it back up and said, to hell with that thing, I'll scrape my stuff to death. Well, you need to learn how to sharpen your skew, and then you'll learn how to use your skew a different way. Now, let me show you a couple of different schools of thought on skews. Here you go. I'm going to bring in a slide. This is if you grind a skew by using one of the jigs or rigs that hold it back away. You know, the one where you put it in the socket back here and you drape it back and forth across the wheel, or you put it on a table and you go back and forth across the wheel and you make a concave surface. Well, when you make a concave surface, this is what you get. You get a dish and you get a flat here and a point up here. Well, when you go to use it, you have to bridge this wide point or work off this little narrow point. Well, a lot of us can't do that. So when I was with Ellie Avasara a couple of years ago, he had an idea that if you make it more bullet pointed, here, take a look at this one. If you make it more bullet pointed and you reduce that pivot point or that fulcrum point way down here at the end, then you've got more control. Because then when you need to use it, slide back in, then all you have to do is twist your wrist a little bit. And then it becomes. Now here you go. Stand by for the voiceover. Now, here it is. I'm going to use the skew and go across this piece of mahogany. I'm going to initiate the cut by rub and bevel, and then I'm going to give it a slight twist and push it across the piece. I'm going to untwist, roll back, slight twist, push it across the piece. Watch how the skew never leaves my arm. I don't raise my arm ever. All I do is twist my wrist and bring it back. I hope I didn't make it seem too simple. See, I don't want to simplify this. All I want to do is try to take the mystery out of it a little bit. And the mystery normally is not how you use a tool, it's how you sharpen the tool before you use it. So you can make the edge something you can work with. It's just like everything else. It's like your pocket knife, it's like your wood chisel, it's like your block plane, it's like your saw blades. It's like everything else. If sharpened properly to something you can use, you can better use it. So let's sharpen this thing. Now, this is no magic. This is a I think this is a Delta 3/4 inch, but this matches a Sorby almost identical. 3/4 inch skew, oval skew. Okay, no magic here. This wheel, I'm going to take out my Blackhawk elliptical sharpening thing. Now, I'm not going to worry about the setting that I had it on because I've got my Accu set. That, folks, is Accu set. This allows me to put it right back in every time. Exactly where it came from. All right, now, I dressed off my wheel. I just cleaned it up a little bit, made sure I had no bounce. If this thing starts bouncing, I gotta put a plate in here or something, stabilize it, and dress it back off. By the way, I've had this wheel since 2003. This is Halloween Day 2010. Notice the outfit. It has been reduced in size by 1/2 inch in radius. It is 7 years old. I've gotten some use out of this. Alright, now, it's 80 grit wheel, traveling at 1860 RPMs. Really 1863. Now, I'm going to, again, rub the bevel, come down, find the edge. Finding the edge is seeing the spark come over the top. Find the edge, push down. Find the edge, push down. Find the edge, push down. Now, when I push down, I'm going to apply some force. When I'm coming up, I'm just finding edge. Rodding the bevel, making a cut. 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 Hope I'm not getting repetitive. Over here, rodding the bevel, making a cut. Rodding the bevel, making a cut. Rodding the bevel, making a cut. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. What is the angle? Preferred angle, using my nifty little General protractor from Home Depot. Set that protractor for 25 degrees. That's what my preferred angle is. 25 degrees. Why? Because I don't want a big fat point. I don't want a real fine point. 25 became the preferred angle. You're at 30, you like it? Leave it alone. You're at 35, you're alright. You're at 15, that's a little bit fine. I think you're going to have a little too fine of a twist. Remember, you still have to be where you can make a twist. If you make it too thin, that twist is going to happen too quickly. And you have to have a little control over it. Alrighty? The next step, got to move the camera. Alright? You want to wait there a minute? Good. Back to the plastic bag, back to the remote. Boop. We moved the camera, got over here. Got to tell you, I've done a lot of work. I've worked with every single lathe manufacturer in the entire world to make a spot to where we can sharpen this, put the last sharpening onto the skew. Almost all of them have a spot for this little gizmo gadget, whatever this is. It's right in the smack dab middle of the lathe. Right there. And that's where we're going to put this thing. We're going to center this up in the middle of that. Now, you got me now? Okay. We're going to put the skew right here. Why right here? Alright. Otherwise, when we touch this up, we're going to have to put the stone down on the table. Way down there. For us guys with this sight, with the glasses thing and all that, that's way down there. Alright? And then you're going to have all these old bones and 250 plus pounds trying to do that's a whole lot of stuff moving, you know, and you're trying to get a little exact fine edge on it and not roll it back. Guess what, guys? Man, that just ain't working. So I'm going to take it back to your teenage years of muscle memory. And I'm going to bring it right up here. Boom. Right here. Right in front. Now, Then I'm going to get out my diamond stone. Now this can be a slipstone, a diamond stone, a diamond card, a hone. I want to polish off this edge, and I want to use something that's nice and smooth to do it. I could do this with something from Harbor Freight or something my grandpa left me, because all I'm looking to do is take the burr off that edge I put on there with the grinder just now. How do I do it? Muscle memory. That's the teenage years thing. 1, 2, 3. Did you notice it's right here where I can see everything that's happening? I can see it going in and out, up and down, and I can kind of just move a little bit of arm. Turn this around. I didn't change hands. My hands never left my arms. The skew never left the machine. It didn't slide around. The stone never slid on the table. You never heard the motor running. The fan didn't have to kick on. The buff didn't work. I'm all out of crap to say, because all I got to do is buff this thing. Guess what? 3 buffs ago I was done. This is one sharp skew. Ooh, man, I scare myself with this. Wow. There's a good side and there's a better side, and they're best. And what I have here is one that I can turn on, turn off. Really easy. And when I get really, really good at it, then I can decide if I want to do that concave grind. Or I can decide, why do I ever want to do that? I've got a way to grind it. It takes me 2 minutes. And most every day that I go out to use it, I got this. I can touch it up. Do you know that I might go to that grinding wheel 1 out of 20 times that I pick up my skew? That's right. The rest of the time I go to this and just touch it up a little bit. Because I'm not cutting concrete, that's for sure. And I do get that beautiful cut every single time. And speaking of that cut, I ain't making shavings sitting here talking to you. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm making shavings. You ever need me, just give me a right at this little number right here. You know, just this email address. Write me a note. Let me know how you're doing. Next time we get together, one more tip, and I'm out of here because I got to make some freedom pens. What are you doing? You sitting in front of a computer. Get out of here. Make some pens. My goodness gracious. You ain't getting nothing done in here.
Da 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 da. That's all, folks. Yeah, the CD player's broken again.